Hello, folks. My name is Tolinar, and I am an Overlord! And I'm also a support main. I wanted to make this video about why I don't play much Nami anymore, as well as voice my concerns for the new Runes Reforged update coming out in Season 8. Now, back in Season 2, when I first started this account, I almost exclusively played Nami. At first, I played her in a rotation with other supports. I was looking for a good angle or strategy, and then I found one. Now, to set the stage for the particular game you're looking at, I'll explain what's going on. I've got a rather normal mastery page for Nami, but all of my runes are geared towards max mana. I've got 200 extra max mana at level 1 with more at level 18, and I've started with this. That's really annoying. Stop. Just stop. Just stop. Stop. As I said, I'm starting with a sapphire crystal, and I'll actually be opening that into a lost chapter. So, back in Season 2, understand I was playing on a computer that maxed out at 20 frames per second on the lowest settings. Now, my ping was fantastic, but anytime things got busy on the screen, I would dip to 3 or 4 frames a second, or even have a screen freeze. I'll see if I can find video of that at some point. I think I tried to shoot a video of how it was back in the olden days. As a result, skill shots could be very tough for me, and this is one of the reasons I favored Nami. She had useful targeted skills, so skill shots were less of a question. And her ultimate was easy enough to aim, pending the glitch. At first, I was focused on eking damage out of her kit, trying to find the best itemization for her set of abilities. Now, with 4 AP damage skills, it really wasn't hard. Rod of Ages was the answer, but it also wasn't very impactful, unless I claimed an early lead. Then I would really make a splash. I didn't want to have to rely on being ahead. I noticed that all of her skills either sped her up or slowed and disabled opponents. So this was my first heuristic design for Nami. I'll go over this in another video, but there are 2 types of plans: statistical and heuristic. Now, if you don't know the word, heuristic basically means way of thinking. By thinking about the champion Nami differently, I could reach a heuristically efficient approach. A best result not based on specific numerical advantages, but on a logical advantage. Building Nami with as much move speed as possible made her very skilled at engaging and disengaging. The build had its flaws for sure, but it was for the most part ridiculously effective when it worked, especially against more immobile champions. I was playing Nami more, but I wasn't playing her exclusively. A move speed advantage always took time to build. I needed something that I could use right away in lane to ensure that my partner didn't feed, say when she got hit by multiple thresh hooks, and to ensure I could safely reach the mid-game. And then I found it. I found a heuristic advantage that would elevate Nami from a solid pick against less mobile enemies to a nigh untouchable monster of the bottom lane. I was looking for a statistical approach to go with my heuristic answer early on. I was studying the amount of damage I needed to inflict to take 2 opponents from 100 to 0, and what sorts of roadblocks would get in the way. The problem was threefold. I couldn't consistently hit Aqua Prison in 3 frames a second, and even if I did, if my lane mate didn't follow up, it would be inefficient and dangerous. My stun would be on cooldown as a result. I didn't have enough mana to inflict the needed damage with tides. If you're watching what's going on, you can probably realize what answer I found. But my battery would run out before I even killed one opponent. I also had to time it sparingly. If I didn't use tides to heal and damage an enemy, then I was wasting half of the spell and half of my mana as a result. Now I could use Blessing efficiently enough, but this would draw minion aggro and potentially open me up for a counterattack, and that is not something that Nami can take very much of. My current plan had been saving enough mana to land a bubble, and then trading with tides when I was full on mana, or when I had taken enough damage to make it worthwhile, and then self-casting Blessing whenever I saw, oh, this is important. Here I get hit by a hook, and Misfortune saves me with a heal. At this point, I know I'm going to stand next to this ADC for the rest of the game. It's rare that an ADC follows through with a summoner to save you. This Misfortune is clearly on her game, so I'm going to do everything I can to help her out. Even though I'm just about to die, Misfortune will be okay. So, as I was saying, my current plan was trying to catch free trades with Tide when I was full on mana, or when I was hurt, trying to make sure I had enough mana for bubble, and using Blessing whenever I saw a chance to fit in some auto attacks. And depending how the lane was going, I would either use my ult to start an all-in CC chain, ult to bubble to slows, or I would use my ult to escape a bit of death when the time would come. This is all pretty similar to how a lot of people play Nami, and it's pretty much what I do nowadays. But back then, I came across a different answer. And the answer was mana. As you can see, I've now got my lost chapter, and I've managed to purchase my coin as well. Mana was the one part of this problem that I could control, and if I could cast Tides freely, then I could constantly heal while safely attacking my foes. I wouldn't take minion aggro unless I wanted to. I could mostly stay out of reach, and if I did get hurt, I could just step off the front line and heal back up with Tides. I didn't have to be super efficient, and this would drastically reduce the risks I would have to take. If by not taking aggro, the minion lane would push into us, and if the enemy got desperate, it would only push harder. We could be healthy, and we'd be safe from the jungler, and all I needed to make it work was unlimited mana. So, I started running Clarity Teleport with mana potions and buying an early tier, and it worked like a charm. My spell choices were often criticized, but those complaints would usually stop when I handed the lane to my ADC in a doggy bag. It had two vulnerabilities. A couple of supports, Lulu and Lux in particular, could trade so hard, so violently, that my cooldowns couldn't keep up, and I would end up stuck on defense until my mana was, well, until their mana was out. It put me on the back foot hard enough that it was difficult to get going. The other was getting caught by a Blitzcrank or a Leona, or sometimes a Thresh. Now, Thresh hooks were rare because Thresh doesn't really do very well against... Oh, look, it's my CC chain. That worked. Anyways, as I was saying, getting caught by Thresh was rare because his moves were so telegraphed, but the other two were very dangerous. Leona, in particular, was a doom bell ringing on the lane, but for the most part, it would all go swimmingly. The enemy had no way to answer. There was no way to stop the onslaught. When I would run out of mana, I would cast Clarity. When that ran out, then I'd recall and teleport back to lane. I was doing and removing so much total damage that the approach was nearly unbreakable, and as time went on, the tier would stack and my pool would only expand. And best of all, I could transition into speed Nami with no problems. It was just a tier that made the build work. My gold was free to put towards other plans, and my early game stability was basically assured. Every game I was playing Nami, 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 but now I don't play lots of Nami. So, what happened? Well, League changed. The coming seasons would change a lot of things. Clarity was removed as a spell from Summoner's Rift. Mana potions were removed. And then the new support items were added. True, I could crutch along with tier and use blue coins to get back to casting, but I had to gather those coins with no mana. And now my opponent was getting more mana from coins as well, or more damage, or shared healing. I had lost my pivotal heuristic advantage of supply. Oh, watch them go for this dive. We're about to see the infamous glitch. I'll miss a bubble here, Tristana dodges the rocket jump, but here, the wave goes the wrong way. Nami has had a glitch since time immemorandum, where she casts wave and it goes 180 degrees from where it was aimed. In this case, I aimed wave to hit everyone, and it hit nobody. Too bad for me. Anyways. The heuristic advantage is of having supply over my opponent, it got lost because the lanes would have more healing, more damage, and more mana. So I had to up my game. As a result, in order to get to the level of mana that I had before, or at least something similar to it, instead of having triple mana, now I would have double mana. But to get that, I had to spend my entire rune page. I had to open with a sapphire crystal. And if my opponents got ahead of me, they would probably upgrade their support item first. I would get even more behind in gold. What had become an assured strategy gradually turned into, over the seasons, a gambit. Something that only worked some of the time. And the reason I feel the need to tell this story is because the new Season 8 is right around the corner. And I don't know if there are other unstoppable heuristic advantages that can be had, but it definitely won't be this one. You see, in Season 8, you can't bring a single point of extra mana out to the field with you. Oh, I'm too close to cast. I'm dead. Yeah, that was the exact train of thought that I had. I play a lot of Cassiopeia. In fact, I play support Cassiopeia. And the moment I stepped too close, I'm like, oh, I'm too close. I'm about to die. And I walked away and died in the process. Anyways, in order to get going with this particular build, you have to have a certain amount of mana advantage over your opponent. Simply having the mana is not the point. You have to have more mana than your opponents have, so that you can outsupply them, outlast them. And that won't be possible. In Season 8, you can't bring a single extra point of mana to the lane. Your options, aside from a rune or two that I wouldn't ever consider using on Nami, is the Mana Flow Band, which gives you one free cast every 60 seconds, as well as a certain percent of your mana back. It's roughly as effective as the Meditation rune. And then also the Biscuits of Everlasting Will. The Total Biscuits of Everlasting Will. So, that's going to give you 40 mana every 3 minutes, but only max mana. You don't actually gain any mana. So, over 12 minutes, you gain 160 max mana. The real problem is, I estimate that 20 to 25% of supports are going to come to lane with these exact advantages, meaning that my leverage over my opponent won't exist. The best I'll be able to do is buy a sapphire crystal and hope that 200 extra mana is going to be enough. And it probably won't. Right now, the build only works because I have a supply of 800 mana, and 20% of that is a lot. And as I level up, the supply gets bigger and bigger. So, I can stick around for longer and longer thanks to the power of the Lost Chapter. But that power will be going away when I only get to bring 400 mana into the lane. It's not an appetizing idea. It might still work. I don't think it's going to work. That's just as well, though, because this particular statistical advantage, this design concept, was only one of the reasons that I played Nami. I'm sure Speed Nami will still work. I want to talk a little bit more about those special rune kits, though. There are other ones that are going to be biting the dust. In particular, I worry that Rune Reforged is really going to homogenize the championship. Oh, that was a good season change. Poor Misfortune got stunned, but I cheerfully finished just on an off-worker. Do you run HP Regen Soraka? It's a good idea, but you won't be doing it in the new season. How about All Armor Taric? Nope. Do you like running percent health Volibear? I don't think you're going to be able to do that. How about level 18 Magic Resist Galio? No. EXP Rush Zillion? Forget it. There's no way in the new system to get extra EXP on runes. How about Magic Penetration Zyra? No. Cooldown Karma? Yes. Cooldown Karma will be fine. You can still get 20% CDR from your page. In fact, by using the Ultimate Hat rune, you can get up to 60% CDR on your ultimate. That is so very strong. And this is what's going to happen. The few champions who have had their niche rune page untouched or improved are going to dominate Season 8, and the rest of them are going to flounder. Even our money supply got gimped. A lot of people don't favor the gold per 5 runes, but they are remarkably versatile. And there's no such thing in this new setup. There's the Kleptomancy rune. This is a pacification. This is Riot Games saying, here, you can have a whole bunch of neat little trinkets and toys, and I hope that you're happy with it. Why would we be? Not every champion can make gold by attacking the enemy. There are multiple strategies for supporting, including sustaining or neutralizing the enemy's attacks. If you have to attack the enemy to get any gold, then you're not going to get any gold. And that's going to make things very difficult for supports, I think. We will see what emerges. So I don't like the idea. I got another kill. I think my damage is starting to get up there. Anyways, a lot of the specialty kits just aren't working out. See, that's why I think that Nami is a pretty effective counter to Thresh. All of Thresh's moves are telegraphed, you see. So he can throw a hook at you, and even if you're seeing he's gonna get me, you can bubble him. You can just counter stun him. And he gets nothing because he can't pull you while he's stunned. And now he's stunned and where he shouldn't be. And with any luck, your ADC will pick up on that. Anyways, this Kleptomancy thing, it seems so random and nonsensical. No serious player is going to try to gamble on Kleptomancy. It's not going to happen. At least not in my opinion, I don't think it'll happen. It all just seems too random, too trinkety, too much like a novelty. So, with Kleptomancy out, there's the benefit that we're getting from the Bandit kit. But, I just don't know. But more importantly than the rune system, there is another reason why I don't play Nami much anymore. And it has to do with my changing philosophy in League of Legends. When I started playing in Season 2, I was very dewy-eyed and optimistic about... Oh, hi, Tristan. Anyways, I was very optimistic about the whole supporting thing. And my optimism has been quite positively dowered by solo queue. This time, I got lucky. Miss Fortune made a lot of mistakes early on. She got hooked a whole hell of a lot of times, but she never made the big mistake. And she was willing to step up and make the plays when the plays were there to be made. She even saved me. Not all ADCs will do this. There will be times when you will go to lane and you will watch your ADC auto-attacking the minions as soon as he sees them and think, okay, so we're going to be pushing this game. I'll adjust accordingly. And then you notice your ADC is not paying any attention to how much health the minions have. And you think to yourself, uh-oh. And then you're going to notice your ADC ignoring the siege minions and just taking damage from the enemy minions, and you think, uh-oh. And I'm kind of running this poor Tristana down here. That killed her. Yeah, I've got a Rod of Ages, so at this point I am starting to scale into an AP carry. That happens if you get enough kills on Nami. But it only happens if you get kills on Nami, and that is the titular problem. Nami can become a force to reckon with, but only if she gets the gold to make it happen. In this game, I get a really good ADC who proceeds to go 7-1 herself, and I go 6-2 because my opponents never clue in. They are classic solo queuers. Solo queuers have some major problems. First and foremost, solo queuers play losing the same way they play winning. They only have one gear, and it's go. Now, this Cassiopeia that I'm fighting against is different. Cassiopeia is a good player. She is defending. She is not diving on us. She is not taking any chances. She's looking for freebies, but the moment she realizes it's not free, she steps back. As a result, she is being a highly effective player right now. And because of her highly effective play, they do get misfortune. But the player's diving for it. See, look at Cass. She's like, no, get away from me. She's playing it smart. 99% of solo queuers don't play it smart. They only care about being the solo hero, the person who turns the game around, or the person who dominates everybody. And that's fine, as long as you are 10 kills ahead of all of your opponents. For misfortune, or even for me at this point, we can do that sort of nonsense because we have such an advantage. But when you think about the Cassiopeia, who is sitting 4-2, of course she can't. The Zac is 3-7, the Tristana is 1-8, and the Thresh is 0-5. And yet they keep running to their deaths as fast as they can, and this is the solo queue mentality. And when you get this sort of situation, where a player plays losing the same way they play winning, a traditional support will have no impact on the game whatsoever. The match literally becomes a coin flip. Oh, watch me miss this wave entirely. Yes, I know it gives Evelyn a huge speed boost as it goes over her, but no, I just missed. That's what happened. I missed. The truth of the matter is, if you get a player who falls behind due to one bad fight and continues to play as though they're ahead, just keeps pushing it, this Cass, she flashes towards me, trying to pick up the kill. It's not enough. She is forced to turn her attention. But she's good enough to stay alive. She knows how to play her champion, and she's playing defensive. And it's one of the reasons why I play support Cass. Tristana is going to go ham, and she is going to regret that she did. Anyways, Nami can't do it. She has all the power tools of a traditional support. Ooh, that hurts. I'm backing up. But what she can't do is she can't farm. She can't last hit. And she has no way to defend a tower or siege a tower. So she can't control objectives. These are my main requirements for being a carry support, and Nami is not a carry support. Because she can't farm, she can't last hit, and she can't siege. Anyone can do damage to a turret if they get 20 kills. Here I think I'm going to get her and realize I'm not, so I step away. What Cass is doing in this situation, stalling the game out, making it take longer, defending for her life, is giving her team more and more chances, which it turns out they are wasting, but they're getting those chances. And this is why I play support Cass. Cass is not an ideal support in terms of supporting ability. She's middling, middle of the road, about the same as a Lux, really. She could do damage. Her CCC, crowd control is kind of crappy. But, she can use miasma. She has advantages against certain champs. Uh-oh, I'm too close to the Cass. I barely get away because I land my bubble. But, pow. Tristana gets the kill. Again, that Cass. She knows what she's doing. She's defending. And defending is what you want to do in this sort of situation. And it's the reason why I play support Cass and support Yorick. Because Cass has the base damage, and Cass can farm, and Cass can last hit with Twin Fang. And Yorick can farm, and Yorick can push, and Cass can defend, and they can control objectives. So while the rest of the team is chasing kills in the jungle, as you see going on right now, people wandering around trying to look for freebies, you can be farming on the bot lane, which is wide open, farming in the mid lane, which is wide open. Look at the gold going to waste. Cass notices it. She's going to go farm it. Meanwhile, I'm going to teleport over here and help with the farming there. I want to be by misfortune anyways. she's demonstrated that she's good enough to have a dedicated support. Carry supporting means that you support an ADC when they prove they're worthy of being supported. And when things are shit, you take control of the game. I'll go into it in more detail in other videos, but suffice to say, Nami can't do it. Ow, it doesn't even tickle. I didn't even notice that something was happening until I lost a couple points of HP. I'm like, what is that? I don't even feel like casting my heal. I don't need to. I'm going to save my mana. Cast Tide later. Any champion can get ahead. Any support is capable of getting the good ADC and dominating, especially ones that have a whole lot of supporting skills like Nami. She's really great at it. But what Nami can't do is turn around a failure. If you only play dedicated supports, you're tying yourself to a coin flip. Man, she's good. But that's the end of her. She really got the most of it. That will be... And as we head towards the end of this video, you can probably guess how it concludes. I got the good ADC. I thought about adding clips from bad ADCs so that you could see the difference. What it's like when your ADC is ignoring the cannon minions and is taking tons of minion damage and gets killed to ganks because they're pushing and they're not getting CS and they're 20, 30, 40 CS behind. You have to draw the line somewhere. You have to say to yourself, okay, I like supporting, I like working with a teammate, but I need to be able to take control when my partner is absolutely awful and my opponent's getting fed. I need to be able to step back off and defend and focus on getting last hits, which means I need to be able to get last hits. I have to be able to farm. And I need to be able to push the wave so I can pick up the EXP that everyone else is missing. And I need to be able to either defend a turret when my teammates have all died in one big clump. Look at this Zac. He's going for it. Well, I'm just going to step out until his abilities are on cooldown and then poke him some. I am not scared of him one bit. Not with Misfortune. At this point, I'm just stalling. I'm letting Misfortune decide the tempo and looking for free shots. Because it's the only option I've really got. I certainly can't crack the turret on my own. If I could, I'd be going for it. Now I plan in Season 8 to do one champion. I'm going to have to force a flash out of Cass. She times that flash so well. In fact, I think she may drag me down to a death here. I missed the bubble thanks to the flash. I am going to beat this Thresh pieces if I remember right. Yeah, at this point, he can blow every shield he wants. I'm still going to kill him. Because I have too much power. He has no business being out here. Cass, wisely, got away just as soon as she got the kill. She's like, it was hard enough killing one of them. I'm not going to kill both of them. It's time to leave. Besides, she had more important things to do. Ah, also she's dead. Oh, look, Timo. That's cute. Well, I'm not smart enough to fight one of these people. What Zac's gonna do, what a lot of people are gonna do, try to make something of this. Just sort of juke that. I probably could have taken Zac on my own, but the presence of a teammate is gonna make this easy. Kill those two. Anyways, you take those minions out. In the new preseason, I plan to do one champion per week. And first week is going to be Yorick, and the second week is going to be Cassiopeia. And if I feel like it, the third week will be Nami. I'm not even going to play Nami for a while, because she can't carry support. She's a wonderful dedicated support, she can't carry support. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.